go. So, as you guys can see, building the plane while it's in the air. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all of the SGs out there and the HBOs. So, the word on the street is, Cowboy Nation, that we should always look into this thing as best player available, right? We should always feel like, hey, I'm leaning on best player available. Shout out to you, Asmodeus. Appreciate you for jumping in, getting in. So, Cowboy Nation, it's a little cool out here, a little windy out here in Texas. Y'all know how this thing goes. But first and foremost, I like to point this out. I listened to 105.3 The Fan, and they was talking about Michael Lombardi was on there as a guest. He was one of those guys that said, hey, if you think about it, collectively speaking, about the philosophy and the way the Cowboys should look into this draft. Well, they asked him, should you take best player available? Why you shouldn't look at Patrick Surtain? Why you shouldn't look at one of the defensive backs? And he was saying the value, the way we operate and the way we run our system is this right here, Cowboy Nation. You see, the Cowboys like to run a cover 3 zone. And Dan Quinn's system, 80% of the time they're in the zone. You don't want to really invest in that much on a cornerback when you're going to run 80% zone, meaning that you're going to use a situation where it's the cornerback, defensive back, however you want to put it, playing off ball, sitting back. That's a lot of real estate. But you can get somebody that can change the game in a cow pit. You can get somebody that can really put the mismatches out there, even if you go into 11 personnel, 12 personnel, because you want to be able to put that tight end out there on the field, and either you got a smaller corner on him, you got a slower linebacker on him, or you got a guy that don't have the fluidity in his hips as it relates to a safety. See, you want to be able to do those type of things. Shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys for jumping in and tuning in. So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, we should be looking at this thing, collectively speaking, saying to ourselves, how can we grab the best player available, the best player that can help us out and put us in different atmospheres? Here's the situation. We looking at this defense from the confines of what Mike Nolan did last year. And everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, Tupac, and Biggie can tell you that, man, that defense that Mike Nolan played or coached out there was really always been an issue wherever he's been as relates to being a head defensive coordinator. Appreciate you, SoCal. Appreciate you for jumping in. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you for being part of this thing. We doing the most out here, baby. Defense only. This is from CBE. Here's the situation. When we look at it, CBE, and shout out to you, Asmodeus, and also shout out to you, Italian Cowboy. Appreciate you for jumping in. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me good, because I know I got a lot of wind out here. It may be a little choppy. I may have to just go live individually on the individual platforms, but let me know. Shout out to Memphis, Tennessee. Shout out to you, fam. Let me see if I can put you up here, baby. What's good? Coming out from Memphis, Tennessee. Cowboy Nation, baby. Shout out to you, man. I love giving you guys shout outs, man. Asmodeus, appreciate you for being part of this thing. BPA, Pitts over certain, if available. Yep. Here's the situation. I think, regardless of the situation, I'm not in the draft board. I'm not in the meetings. I'm not in nowhere close to the Cowboys. Although the Arlington Stadium is right around the corner there. Here's the situation, Cowboy Nation. I believe that regardless of whether or not you go with Pitts or you go with Surtain, or hell, even if you go with Horn, I think that any of those guys will help. But I'm looking at a situation where it's how can I bring in somebody that can help, not just for today, but for tomorrow. And I know that we need help on defense. I've seen and I heard people say, well, whoever we get with the first pick can help stop the run. No. There's no value There's no value that's there that can help us out with stopping the run with the first pick. There's no value. That's not like you're going to go out there and draft a Tommy Teaga or a J. Tuafile with the 10th overall draft pick. You don't do that. Ikea, appreciate you, fam. Thank you for jumping in. Pitts cannot cover in the offense. I don't know what you're talking about, Kenny Bell. You got to put some more details into that excerpt there. If Pitt's available, take him. Move up and take a corner. And move up and take a corner. This is from Curtis Clark. I mean, Curtis, you spitting the truth. Just like I said before. For example, we can take the same argument that everybody is prepositioned for Patrick Surtain. On that particular team, the Florida team versus Alabama. We know that Alabama had more 5-star recruits and all of this stuff versus Florida. Granted, when you turn on the tape, Kyle Pitts was unstoppable. Flat out unstoppable. 7 receptions for over 120 yards against that Alabama's defense. 7 receptions over 120 yards. Could have had 2 tubs. I'm not saying that, hey, it was all Patrick Surtain's fault because they didn't match up each other. He only had like 2 or 3 plays out of it, and he still ate. He still ate them. It wasn't like it was like, okay, I'm going to stop him, I'm going to lock him down and hold him down. What I'm saying here, hear me out, Cowboy Nation. You can't go into this draft in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th round to find somebody that's equivalent to the skill set that Kyle Pitts is able to do, to exemplify and exude. But damn it, you can go into the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th round, and maybe just within that confines of the 2nd and the 3rd, there's DBs that can literally play in a zone or a cover 3 concept, or even in a zone concept that can give you the same rates of returns of what a Patrick Surtain can do, because it's a zone concept. This is not press, man. This is not bump and run. This is not a scheme where we're going to lock them up on the outside. That's not Dan Quinn's scheme. It's kind of like overdrafting. It's kind of like buying a Lamborghini to haul stuff. You don't do it that way. Shout out to you, John. Appreciate you for jumping in. Let's see. Offense did win Super Bowl. Defense won. Offense did win Super Bowl. Defense won Super Bowl. I think a mixture of both. I think that when people says defense win championships, because defense travel. We know that defense is the ability to stop a team from scoring. We do know that teams must be able to put up money on the board. But I think it's a circular argument, and it's semantics in the sense, in certain situations where people say, well, offense wins championships. No. Historically speaking, out of all of the Super Bowls that's ever been won, you can go line by line and break down that the defensive side of the coin helps a team win. On top of that, the defense, I'm going to tell people again, the defense is not a situation where you look at a defense. Hear me out, Cowboy Nation. You look at defense and you say, this is number one defense. No, defense grows. Defense is more like a joint party. Best way to put it, if your offense is hot week 1, 9 times out of 10, your offense will be hot for the entire year, unless circumstances change. Unless field condition, raining, on the road, can't hear the plays, those type of things. But baby, defense can start off slow. The first month, the second month, and then right around that cushion time when it get cold, everybody start being on the same page, everybody on the same beat. Now the defense turnovers take away. A good example of that would be the Giants when they won their Super Bowl. They wasn't top 10 defense, but they was grit, they was grinding. They got to the quarterback, they created pressure, they took the ball away. The Saints the Drew Brees, all his Super Bowl that he was able to win, that was an opportunistic type of defense. They took the ball away. That defense was able to create pressure. I can say the same for a plethora of teams. Even God dog it, the Colts, when they won their first Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, the defense were able to get turnovers, takeaways, create pressure. Were they the top 10 defense? No. And see, the problem is with football, people like to put it in one box and say, well, if they were not top 5 defense, you see, it don't work that way. Let's see. As Modia says, he concur. Appreciate you, fam. The Pitts is at 10. You have to take him. You can get Cal Joseph or Melifonwu in a second. My point, my dog, my point exactly. Boy, hey, man, you preaching to the people out here, man. Hey, you preaching. You preaching. Because just off of that assessment alone, Cowboy Nation, just off of that assessment alone, Cowboy Nation, Surtain is not light years ahead of Kelvin Joseph. Surtain is not light years ahead of Melifonwu, right? But dog it, Kyle Pitts is light years ahead of Hunter Long. Shoot. Jay Farr, what's good, man? Shout out to you, man. Since the Cowboys are in a quiet rebuild, it really doesn't matter who the pick is. This is from my dog, Jay Farm. Hey, you right on the money with Ezekiel Elliott this year. He's working out with your brother, man. And also you right on the money with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, both working out with Sanders, man. That right there, and let me know that both of these guys are hungry. And whenever we can see a slender Ezekiel Elliott opposed to the chubby Ezekiel Elliott getting off for all of that carbo sand, I can't wait to see Ezekiel, the main man Elliott, this year. Hopefully his mind and all of those stuff together. But y'all check out, man, my dog Jay Farm, when he comments in the comment box, he's always putting good stuff out there. But I don't think I agree with 100% of this right here. He says since they're in a quiet rebuild. I think that we are rebuilding in certain sections, but you got your quarterback, you got your wide receiver cores, you got your running back, which one could argue that is the staple piece of everything right now on the offensive side of the ball. As far as the offensive line, you still got La'el Collins, you still got Zach Martin, right? Connor Williams. Those are all top draft picks. Tyler Biadasz, he's a guy that was drafted high with the Dallas Cowboys to play the center role. My thing is, you will still have to take a look into the left tackle situation with Tyron Smith, right? If you want to rebuild anything, maybe you're going to look at it and say, okay, within this draft, if you want to rebuild something, maybe you say, okay, Sewell, Slater, maybe that would be a situation where you can say for sure, yeah, you drafted a first-round draft pick that probably would not be the starter day one, but he would be the starter down the line, right? Maybe that could be the situation. Izzy Spike says, like Blake Jarwin and Schultz, getting way better, progressing fast. Yeah. Here's my thoughts. I'm gonna tread very careful when I say this. Here's my thoughts. Who was our wide receiver core the year? And I'm gonna need some of y'all help, man. I know it's windy. You guys may hit a win, but who was the wide receiver core when the Cowboys passed up on Randy Moss? Who did the Cowboys have as their wide receivers? And I'm gonna need y'all help because my mind is everywhere, man. I just need y'all help on this one. Who were the wide receivers we had on the roster when the Cowboys said, you know what? We got okay. Let me see. Okay. Was Joey Galloway Shady is back? Appreciate you. Santi said he wasn't even born. All right. Derek Thomas, yeah, I'm going to these games, man. Let's see. Gary says Irvin and Rocket. Rocket Ishmael. Oh, Rocket was really good. Was Rocket generational? Was Rocket Ishmael like unbelievable talent? I knew he could take the top off the defense, and he did just that. Irvin, Tucker. I can hear people right now saying to themselves, we got Michael Irvin. We got a Tucker. We got an Ishmael. We good at wide receivers, man. We don't need to bring in another wide receiver. We got a Hall of Famer right now in a Michael Irvin. Man, the guy can just work the inside. He can go across the middle. Yes, he's the playmaker, and we got a guy that can take the top off the defense already. We got speed. We don't need no Randy Moss. On top of that, Randy got off the field issues. We dealing enough with Michael, the playmaking Irvin. Right? So we got to look into this thing and never paint ourselves. You're mopping. Let's say I got to go this way. You never want to mop yourself into a corner. I missed the spot. Yeah, yeah. We don't want to paint ourselves in a corner, mop ourselves in a corner. You got to go back that way. You got to take your butt back through there. And now, some people that are smart, you can go this way, mop yourself out of it. What happened if it's paint? You can't paint yourself in a corner. No matter what you do, the paint gonna get on your feet. Oh goodness. With Pitts, you're not doubling anybody, and teams stack the box and stop Ezekiel Elliott. Then oh my, he left all out. Yo, the point of Ezekiel Elliott, the young Ezekiel Elliott, when he was drafted to this team, you wanted teams to load the box. You wanted teams to try to stop a run. The whole point of it, you had a veteran type of quarterback who could take the ball, drop back, look around, survey the field, kill a one-on-one to the outside. It was a vertical threat offense, whereas you had your one single high guy, where you had your one X receiver, which was Dez Bryant. You had your contemporaries like your Terrence Williams, and you had your inside guy like that's their philosophy with Jason Witten. And they thought that they was going to get that out of Tony Romo. Unfortunately, Tony Romo got injured, and the drafting of Ezekiel Elliott was like, let's see how this thing works. And it caught on fire. They started to do some RPOs, some spread actions. They brought in some of Dan Mullen's type of philosophy out there with Scott Linehan, and it worked for a year. Then the NFL caught up a little bit and said, okay, this is all they're doing. Let's take away this. Let's make sure we do this. And let's make sure we disguise some of these looks. It caught up with Dak Prescott. It took him a year and a half to get beyond that aspect of it. And it took him to about, I would say, 2018, where he knew how to start exploiting the one-on-ones to the outside and being comfortable enough to put that ball right there in the grasp of everything. So now it is the year 2021. I think that Dak Prescott can make every throw. I think that Dak Prescott can really push this thing down the field and being one of those guys that can help this team out tremendously. And we missed that last year, the continuity, the rapport, right? We miss all of that. So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, now that this season is heading into the 2021 season, we got a Blake Jarwin, which I think that he will be good. We got a Schultz. I think that he's a dynamic guy. Oh, also, if the Cowboys continue to stick with everybody that they got on this offense, as relates to Amari Cooper, Lamb, Gallup, Ezekiel Elliott, and Tony Pollard, I think that offense is great. I really do. But what we can't do is paint ourselves in a corner and say to ourselves, this would be the only option to be is to go grab a defensive back knowingly that you know for sure that you got other people ranked or rated higher than said player. That's all I'm saying, with the best player available. All right. Derek Thomas, appreciate you. And that's all I'm saying. You still stay true to your board. We're not in the luxury. That's why I can't wait for tonight when I have my studio up. I'm going to comb through what Michael Lombardi said, and we're going to break that down in the smallest fashion possible. Law, you think the Cowboys would sign KJ? I think so. They should. They should sign KJ. They should sign him up, man. I don't work at a dealership. I'm just over here getting my car worked on or what have you. You gotta always do your maintenance, man. You gotta always make sure that everything that you got on the wood can get it right? So that's what I'm doing, making sure that before I travel on the road, that all of the essential parts will be good to go. That's all I'm saying. So why, Law? Why the Cowboys need to always work on the essential parts, making sure that everything that they got can be steady down the line. Maintenance. It's a similar thing to what I'm doing right now. Because what we don't want to happen is us going down the road and we think that, hey, everything is fine because we had this, because we got oil in the car, because we got the transmission fluid is great. We get the Harlem shaking. We get the Harlem shaking. And now we're on the side of the road saying, dog, I should have done this or I should have done that. No. You take care of your stuff now and you replace things before they get too old. William Burney, appreciate you. We definitely need defense. We had a bottom 3 in the league defense last season, and some of our fans want to draft defense. We definitely need defense. We had a bottom 3 in the league defense last season. I'm going to read it again. And some of our Cowboy fans want to draft defense. I think we should draft defense, but best player available. So, Kyle, appreciate you, fam. Thank you for jumping in. He says, Jerry will always find a way to sign who he wants to keep. Facts. Tyler, he says he must have meant offense. Yeah, he must have meant offense. I'm thinking like what he must have meant. Yeah. All right, man. Cowboys tight ends do not go down the field. They mostly dink and dunk to Schultz, Jarwin, Witten. Check out Schultz stats compared to Witten's last few years. How can I put this? With the aspect of talking about Schultz, I believe Schultz surprised us all last year, right? He said, "Man, y'all brought in a Blake Bell. Y'all discounted me. This how you feel?" And Schultz showed up. I must say that Schultz was able to solidify his position, his role with his team. Right? Blake Bell, when he came in, I know everybody spoke highly of him. He was a great blocker, understood the zone concepts. He used to play quarterback for crying out loud, I believe for Oklahoma. He played on the Super Bowl caliber team. I think he got him a Super Bowl ring for the Chiefs or what have you. And Jarwin supposed to have been that guy that this year or last year he was going to be really one of those things where he got his money, got his bag. He was going to showcase to the world that he got the ability, the availability, and all of those good things to separate himself from everybody else. But he was injured. I'm not going to count that against him. Wind blowing it away. Hold on, let me go this way. The wind, baby, the wind. The wind is winning. The wind is winning. All we do is win, no matter what. All right. My thing is, Cowboy Nation, they're going to have to look at this offense and say, even though you might think they dink and dunk, red zone efficiencies. I want you guys to look up red zone efficiencies. Let me know where Schultz, Jarwin, or even Blake Bell, although he's gone. How were those guys effective? Third down. Were those guys able to exploit the mismatches? Those type of things. All right, let's see. And let me say this. But I got a chance to speak to Jay Novacek. I'm going to have to repost this video somewhere. You know, Jay Novacek. He was saying that the tight end position is one of the most pivotal roles in the National Football League. And it's one of the most difficult because you do so much as a tight end, especially if you're in line or out. Or you actually, when you think about it, a tight end got to understand the fullback, running back responsibilities, the slot responsibilities, as well as the outside wide receiver. When you have a dynamic player like any dynamic tight end, if they understand the concept of the game, it's an immediate mismatch, and it's a welcoming for any of the red zone threats. All right, so let's see here. Appreciate you guys for jumping in. Oh, man, this is vlog style, baby. Appreciate you, Asmodeus. Appreciate you so much. Appreciate you. J Form, shout out to everybody, all of my mods, man, that helped me out with this. I thank Rue Glock, man. Thank you for jumping in. Cowboy Nation, I cannot wait. To go live tonight. We're going to talk about all of the things that I talked about here. There may be some other videos throughout the day, but do me a huge favor. Something about when y'all hit that like button, it does something weird to the algorithm. So that helps the channel out. And even if you're on the Facebook, sharing is caring. So if you can share this to all of your groups, man, that would be great. Just stay tuned for more Cowboys content throughout the day. And I will like to say that regardless of how we agree or disagree, any of the guys that we draft in this particular year, they still have to learn. They still have to be implemented in the system. It's about the system. So let's continue to find ways. I'm just with the belief of best player available. That's all I'm saying. Best player available. All right, Cowboy Nation. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content, let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. I would have my jam rock out type of music, but I don't have it. But Cowboy Nation, do me a huge, huge favor. There's this guy that won on the Facebook side. It's Ernest Jameson. I'm gonna do the redrawing tonight for the Facebook people that donated and gave the stars, so I can give that gift away. If Jameson, if you do not respond by the end of the day, when I go live like 95, we're gonna have somebody else to get that wonderful cover blanket from the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to you, Sheila Nail. Shout out to you, Wesley. Appreciate your Rue Glock and things, man. Appreciate y'all, man. I'm out for real this time. We out. We out. We out.